Hi guys, Igor from your neighborhood wine shop here, and it's November wine selections for the club. So I want to give a brief overview. Once again, we got some fantastic selections, and I know I sound like a broken record because every month I say that, but I can't help it if it's true. So, all right, so let's start with the white wines first. So the first white wine is Muscadet. Muscadet, it's based on the Melon de Bourgogne grape, and it comes from the Loire Valley, from the eastern side by the Atlantic. It's kind of claim to fame wine because it's the ideal partner for oysters. So that's your quintessential pairing. But what's cool about Muscadet is it's typically a very good wine, and you can find really good examples in a $20 below range. But this got 93 points, so this is a fantastic example in that range. Typically you don't see highly rated wines like that, so I'm definitely excited to bring this into the club. All right, the next wine might be even more exciting. It's Verdejo, which is, if you're not familiar, it's a Spanish light-bodied grape, similar to Sauvignon Blanc. Typically Verdejos are not complex. They don't typically make like world-class wines. But this is Ossian, that's the producer that makes this wine. Their concept is they look for old vines throughout Spain. And what's special about these vines, it's Verdejo vines over 100 years old. So we're talking about ancient vines. And one of the reasons that they're so old is because phylloxera, which is the louse that destroyed a lot of the vineyards throughout the wine world, could not get to them because they grow in sandy soils. So you have these beautiful old vines, and the reason old vines are treasured is because frequently they make really good wine. And the other thing is, as they become older, there's less fruit, they produce less fruit, but much more concentrated fruit. So the wine becomes much more complex. So this a highly rated, there's great kind of this salinity on this wine, like a combination of fruits and minerality. It's one of the best Verdejos that I've ever tasted, and in fact it's kind of a benchmark Verdejo as far as I know. When I'm looking like at really like renowned Verdejos, this wine always comes up. So I'm definitely excited to have this in the club. I think this is fantastic. So yeah, if you are in the white wines club, these are the two wines you get. All right, if you're in a mixed selections, you'll have the Verdejo, and then you have another really great wine, and this is from the Faugeres region in Languedoc. Faugeres is one of the villages in the Languedoc region, southeast France. And what's special about this village is that the soil is schist. So schist, it's the most famous schist soil is in the northern Rhone in Cote Rotie, which makes some of the most famous wines in the world. So schist is a type of soil. Well, it drains. It's a well-draining soil, so the roots are able to dig deep and produce very structured and concentrated wines. And the other beauty, this is also old vines, 90-year-old vines. So once again, old vines, concentration, beautiful juice. This is a GSC blend, so it's Grenache, Syrah, Carignan blend. Very beautiful wine. I mean, when you're drinking it, it's got this liquorish type of like beauty on it. So it's concentrated, but it feels light on your palate. It doesn't feel like it overpowers your palate. Once again, got high scores, 17 points from Jensen's. Very great. I think it's a great score for a wine in this club. And the other red wine, if you get into red wines, is another great find. Bandol Rouge. So Bandol, if you guys are not familiar, it's appellation within Provence. And Provence are obviously known for their rosés. And most of these rosés based on Grenache and Cinsault grapes. But Bandol is known for Mourvedre, which is more meatier, more structured, more full-bodied wine. So it still produces, I think, more rosés than red and white wines, and it's very unusual to find red Bandol. But this is a great example. You got 93 points, and typically red Bandols, just because of the kind of supply and demand, it's a small appellation, and there's worldwide demand for it. So typically these wines are expensive. The red Bandols are very expensive wines. So I was really ecstatic to find such a highly rated Bandol wine that could fit into the Adventurous Club. So I think the selections in November are fantastic for the Adventurous Club. But they're fantastic for high society club as well. So speaking of schist, here it is, Cote Rotie, and this is fantastic. Syrah. So Cote Roties are known for their Syrahs, and a lot of the Cote Rotie Syrahs, they're very powerful, like dense wines. And frequently, a lot of the winemakers in northern Rhone, they add a little bit of Viognier to soften up the fierceness of Syrah. And this is exactly it. So 90% Syrah, 10% Viognier, great balanced wine. And what's great about it is, Cote Roties, that's a wine you're looking, $100 and above is typically on the lower end Syrah. So I was excited to find a Syrah that could fit into this club. And on top of that, it's a 2012 Syrah. So we're talking about right in prime drinking. Very exciting. So, here's if you got 2 schist wines, one for the high society club. And finally, another great wine, Etna Rosso. So this is a red wine from Mount Etna. And Mount Etna is probably the most famous volcanic soil-based wine. So they're typically made from Nerelli Muscalesi grapes and a little bit of Nerelli Cappuccio. Those are typically the 2 grapes that are in the Etna Rosso blends. But this is like a really fun blend. So it's 85% Nerelli Muscalesi, but the other 15% it makes up of 15 other varieties, including some Cappuccio, but then there's actually some white varieties. So it's funny, it's actually made kind of in a Cote Rotie style, where you're adding some white varieties to kind of soften up the volcanic soil-based Nerelli Muscalesi wines. They also have like a nice grip. They're not full-bodied like a Syrah, but volcanic soil gives this kind of mineral grip to these wines that make it very complex and very unique. So guys, if you guys are in the club, I think you'll enjoy these wines. If you're not in the club, I don't know why not. You can always join the club, and I'll encourage you to join the club. I'll be glad if you join the club. So, once again, we have some of these wines for sale as well. So if you're in the club and want to try, please stop by the shop or check them out online. And in this newsletter that I'll be sending out, I'll have details, inserts about each of these wines. I encourage you guys to read it. I think it's a lot of fun information, and I think very exciting information. If you didn't think you'll want to try the wines, you might after reading the inserts. All right, thank you guys. Bye.